Retro Road Test, Rover 800 vs Saab 9000 Battle of the Executive Cars. The late 1980s and early 1990s were an era when European executive sedans dominated the roads, offering style, refinement, and the promise of luxury and performance at prices accessible to a broader audience. Among the notable contenders in this segment were the Rover 800 and the Saab 9000. Both cars were flagship models of their respective manufacturers, symbolizing national pride, the Rover for British engineering and the Saab for Swedish innovation. But how do they fare against each other in a head-to-head comparison? Design and styling. Rover 800. Launched in 1986, the Rover 800 was the product of a joint venture between British Leyland and Honda, known as the XX Project. The design was distinctly conservative, with clean lines and sharp edges that gave it a businesslike demeanor. It was available as both a saloon and a fastback, appealing to buyers who wanted something sleek yet practical. The Rover 800 looked elegant with its restrained styling. The front featured a slim grille, flanked by rectangular headlamps that were somewhat characteristic of the late 80s design language. Its silhouette was neat, with minimal excesses or curves. The overall aesthetic was formal, perhaps even a bit cold, but very much in line with what British buyers expected from an executive sedan. Saab 9000. In contrast, the Saab 9000, introduced in 1984, embraced a more modern and aerodynamic design. Co-developed with Fiat, the Saab 9000 shared underpinnings with the Fiat Croma, Lancia Thema, and Alfa Romeo 164, but Saab infused its own unique Scandinavian style into the car. The 9000 had a flowing, aerodynamic shape with smoother lines than the Rover. Its wide, broad grille was flanked by large headlights, giving it a purposeful and slightly aggressive look. Inside, the Saab 9000 took a distinctly driver-oriented approach. The dashboard was heavily wrapped around the driver, much like what you'd find in an aircraft cockpit, a nod to Saab's aerospace roots. It emphasized ergonomics and ease of use, with every control logically placed. Compared to the more formal Rover, the Saab 9000's design felt more progressive and forward-thinking. Interior and comfort. Rover 800. Step inside the Rover 800, and you're greeted by an interior that feels stately, almost as if you've stepped into a gentleman's club. The use of wood trim, leather, and plush carpeting gives the Rover a distinctly British feel of old-world luxury. The seats are soft and well-cushioned, offering plenty of comfort, particularly on long motorway journeys. Legroom in both the front and rear is generous, though taller passengers may find the rear headroom in the fastback model a bit restricted due to the sloping roofline. The dashboard layout in the Rover 800 is straightforward, with a clean, uncluttered design that emphasizes function over form. Analog dials dominate the instrumentation, and while the switches and knobs feel robust, they lack the finesse of more modern counterparts. Nevertheless, the cabin is quiet, and noise insulation is impressive, providing a serene environment when cruising at higher speeds. Saab 9000. The Saab 9000, on the other hand, offers a more minimalist approach to luxury. The materials used inside are high quality, though the overall ambience feels slightly more utilitarian than the Rover's. There's less wood and chrome trim, but the Saab still exudes a sense of premium craftsmanship. The seats in the Saab 9000, particularly the front ones, are excellent. They're firm, supportive, and designed to minimize fatigue over long distances. Saab's famous ergonomic philosophy shines through in the seat design, which makes the car ideal for long-distance touring. Where the Saab 9000 excels over the Rover is in practicality and interior space. The Saab has a larger, more open cabin, and headroom is more generous. The fastback design of the 9000 also provides more rear passenger comfort and a spacious boot, especially in the hatchback variant. The dashboard layout, as mentioned earlier, is very driver-centric, and the buttons and controls are intuitive and easy to reach. In terms of infotainment, both cars feature the basics expected in a car of this class for the time: a premium sound system, climate control, and other conveniences, but don't expect anything like the touchscreen displays and smartphone integrations of today. The Saab, however, edges out the Rover with a slightly more advanced trip computer and diagnostics system. Driving dynamics and performance. Rover 800. The Rover 800 was available with a variety of engines, the most notable being the 2.7-litre Honda V6 and the British-designed 2.0-litre T-Series turbocharged engine. The V6, in particular, offered smooth and refined performance, perfectly suited to the car's character. It wasn't a fast car by modern standards, but for its time, the V6 delivered sufficient power to give the Rover 800 a relaxed, effortless driving experience. The engine's smooth power delivery combined with a well-damped suspension made the Rover ideal for long motorway cruises. However, when it came to handling, the Rover 800 felt a bit detached. The steering was light, almost too light at times, which made it easy to maneuver in the city but left it feeling vague and uninspiring on twisty country roads. The suspension was also tuned for comfort, so while it soaked up bumps well, it didn't provide the best feedback to the driver. In short, the Rover 800 felt more like a luxury cruiser than a driver's car. Saab 9000. The Saab 9000, on the other hand, was known for its turbocharged engines, which gave it a more spirited character. The 2.3-litre turbocharged engine, in particular, was a highlight, offering strong performance and acceleration that put it in the same league as some of the faster executive sedans of its time. The turbo's power delivery was smooth, and thanks to the wide torque band, it felt quick both in town and on the motorway. Where the Saab really shined, however, was in its handling. Despite being a front-wheel drive car, the 9000 exhibited excellent poise and control through corners. The steering was well-weighted, providing much more feedback than the Rover. Saab's engineers managed to strike a fine balance between comfort and sportiness, making the 9000 both an enjoyable car to drive on winding roads and a comfortable cruiser for long-distance travel. In terms of overall performance, the Saab 9000 clearly had the edge, offering more engaging dynamics and a wider range of engine choices, many of which were turbocharged. The Rover, while competent, felt more reserved in comparison. Safety features. Both cars were developed in an era when safety was becoming a more significant concern for manufacturers, but they approached it in different ways. Rover 800. The Rover 800 was equipped with the safety features expected in a premium car of its time, including anti-lock brakes, ABS, seatbelt pretensioners, and a strong passenger cell. However, compared to the Saab, the Rover lacked some of the innovative safety technology that would have set it apart. Rover's focus was more on passive safety, ensuring that in the event of a collision, the car's structure would protect its occupants. Saab 9000. Saab, on the other hand, had a reputation for being at the forefront of safety technology, and the 9000 was no exception. It came with ABS, but it also featured additional safety innovations that were rare at the time, such as impact-absorbing bumpers, side impact protection, and a focus on occupant safety in a variety of crash scenarios. Saab's dedication to safety even extended to small details, like headlamp washers and integrated front fog lights to improve visibility in poor weather conditions. Overall, the Saab 9000 felt like the safer choice, not only because of its crashworthiness but also because of the active safety features that helped prevent accidents in the first place. Running costs and reliability. Rover 800. As with many British cars of this era, the Rover 800 was not without its reliability concerns. While the Honda-sourced engines, especially the 2.7-litre V6, were known for their reliability, other aspects of the car, particularly the electrics and some of the British-built components, could be troublesome. Owners often reported issues with the cooling system, electrical gremlins, and the automatic transmission in particular. However, parts were generally affordable, and there was a large aftermarket supply, so keeping a Rover 800 on the road wasn't prohibitively expensive. Fuel economy for the Rover 800 wasn't particularly impressive, especially with the V6 engine, but it was in line with what you'd expect from a car of this size and class in the late 80s and early 90s. The smaller 2.0-litre engines were more economical but lacked the refinement and power of the V6. Saab 9000. The Saab 9000, on the other hand, had a reputation for being robust and reliable, provided it was properly maintained. Saab's turbocharged engines were generally reliable, though they could be sensitive to neglect, particularly in terms of regular oil changes and cooling system maintenance. The Saab's electrical system, while complex for the time, was generally more reliable than the Rover's, though some owners did report issues with the climate control system and the trip computer. Fuel economy for the Saab 9000 was also reasonable for its class, with the smaller turbocharged engines offering a good balance between performance and efficiency. Running costs were slightly higher than the Rover due to the more sophisticated engineering and higher parts costs, but the Saab made up for it with its longevity and durability. Verdict. The comparison between the Rover 800 and Saab 9000 reveals two distinct approaches to the executive car market of the late 80s and early 90s. The Rover 800 is the more traditional of the two, offering a classic British executive car experience. It excels in providing comfort, refinement, and an aura of stately luxury. It's best suited for long motorway journeys, where its soft suspension and quiet cabin come into their own. However, it lacks the driver engagement and dynamic ability of more modern cars, and its reliability concerns may deter some buyers. On the other hand, the Saab 9000 is the more forward-thinking, innovative, and engaging car. Its turbocharged engines, strong performance, and excellent handling make it a more enjoyable car to drive, while its emphasis on safety and practicality adds to its appeal. The Saab feels like the better-rounded car, excelling in areas where the Rover falls short, particularly in terms of driver engagement, interior space, and safety. Ultimately, for buyers seeking a comfortable, traditional executive sedan, the Rover 800 is a solid choice. But for those who want a car that combines performance, practicality, and safety, the Saab 9000 is the clear winner in this comparison.